Maryland, Mr. Hoyer, is recognized for such time as he may consume.
I want to thank the representative of the District of Columbia, Mr. Norton, for yielding. I want to thank Mr. Royce for his continuing principled and focused leadership on issues that relate to foreign policy, that relates to human rights, and relates to international law. I appreciate very much his leadership. And Mr. Speaker, I am pleased that I was able to join with the Majority Leader, Mr. McCarthy, my friend, in sponsoring this resolution as an appropriate response to the terrible actions that were taken by security officers protecting Mr. Erdogan and his visit here. I rise in support of this resolution, which I'm proud to have introduced along with the Majority Leader, Ranking Member Engel, and Chairman Royce. The assault on nonviolent demonstrators here in our nation's capital on May 16th by Turkish security personnel was an outrage. Our resolution makes it clear the United States will not tolerate violence against peaceful protesters on our shores, and those responsible must face justice. Turkey remains a critical NATO ally, but I am nevertheless extremely concerned, Mr. Speaker, by the fact that this is the third such incident in recent years, marking a pattern of violence by Turkish security personnel in the United States. Unacceptable. Senator John McCain, I won't quote him, but his response was very direct, very basic, and he too said this was unacceptable behavior, and he even suggested that perhaps the Turkish ambassador ought to leave. I do not suggest that, but I do suggest the conduct must change. It is unacceptable. Our resolution calls on the State Department to take appropriate actions to ensure that the Turkish government understands that we will not allow this to happen again. There must be consequences to this unprovoked attack on peaceful American citizens in their own country, and those responsible should be charged and prosecuted by the United States. It should be clear to Turkey and to all nations that we will oppose any attempt to suppress dissent or the freedom of speech. That is why that is in the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, because our founding fathers, and frankly, those who follow Western values, and yes, some Eastern values, believe that free speech is absolutely the sine qua non, an absolute essential for a democracy to succeed and to flourish. I want to thank Mr. Royce again for his principled leadership. I want to thank Mrs. Norton, and I want to thank the members of the Foreign Affairs Committee for their work on this resolution, and I urge every member of this House to join not only in passing it, but sending this strong message not only to our Turkish allies, but to all those who would come to these shores and understand that our citizens may well have something to say. And they may say it with signs, they may say it with their voices, they may say it by standing someplace in proximity. And one of the facets of America is that they have the right to do that. And those who visit our shores must honor that right. Support this resolution. I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Maryland yields back the balance of his time without objection. The remaining time for the minority will be controlled by the gentleman from New York, Mr. Espaillat. Does the gentleman from New York have any additional speakers on this resolution?
No additional speakers, Mr.